He is the favourite for white. He's also one of the contenders for yellow. Egan Bernal, a new experience for him, up on the podium to collect the leader's jersey.
Take 6 seconds off for Thibaut Pinot and start the clock. Just a few seconds behind the man in the white jersey there at the start of the stage. Looking to move up, that's Emmanuel Buchmann having a fantastic Tour de France. Time bonus is up the road.
And there is the general classification. Thibaut Pinot is at 1 minute and 50 seconds behind.
And like Uran said, anyone in the top 6 can win this Tour. 2:14 separating 6 riders. 12 seconds between Thomas and Kruijswijk, another 3 seconds back to Pinot, another 12 seconds back to Bernal, another 12 seconds back to Buchmann.
Back in the field, and finally some action, some firepower. Egan Bernal is the first man to attack.
They had no choice. Now Dylan van Baarle has gone. The world champion Valverde has gone onto his back wheel. The two of them are pulling away. I wonder if Geraint Thomas has told Bernal to give his best shot right now, because the yellow jersey is still right there on the front. Still full of fight.
And
Mas is leading the lead front.
Enric, yes, absolutely. Enric Mas is the man in the blue jersey, chasing down Egan Bernal and Julian Alaphilippe. Fantastic defense of the yellow jersey this far in the Galibier.
Now they've got the little kicker up towards the finishing line here. Serge Pals has not been able to help Bernal, and he might well be unhitched on this little climb to the finish.
Thibaut Pinot just 12 seconds ahead of Egan Bernal at the start of the day, and Steven Kruijswijk just 15 seconds ahead. So Bernal looking to move up at least into the top 3 in the overall standings, if not into second place.
Well, if his own team hadn't chased, he might have been very close to the race.
There's Bernal
tonight.
Coming into the frame, chasing Woods and Tish Benoot.
He's got to be 27 seconds. We'll start the clock for you as he hits the line, and we'll count it down to whether he goes above his teammate Geraint Thomas. He certainly worked for this. You can see what was in his mind. In his case, the clock starts now. Alaphilippe, 1 minute 30 now ahead of Egan Bernal. 1:35 over Geraint Thomas, who drops 1 place. Kruijswijk down 1. Thibaut Pinot down 1 because Bernal came from the depths to go above them.
Egan Bernal in the white jersey moving up to the front of that group with Geraint Thomas and putting in a big dig himself.
Bernal has come over the top of Geraint Thomas. Only 5 seconds separates them between first and second place now, if they can push on away from the yellow jersey.
Over 9,000 feet at the top of this, so advantage Bernal in the altitude stakes for the rest of this climb in the very thin air of the highest pass in the Alps in this year's Tour de France.
Well, this is for Colombia, I think, rather than for Team Ineos by Egan Bernal, the 22-year-old youngest rider in the Tour.
Passing Simon Yates, who was in the breakaway, catching up to Nibali. I imagine Rigoberto Urán is just a little bit in front of him with Barguil.
This man has hurt himself beyond belief, but he's still gaining time. Well, they've always talked about Bernal since the day he came into World Tour cycling as the man of the future. Today, he's proving that point. Well, he's over the top of the climb of the Col d'Iseron. He gets 40 points for that in the King of the Mountains. We are hearing there might be hailstones falling on the descent. Steve.
We just heard, I don't know if you heard it over race radio, but they canceled the stage. They just said they canceled the stage. We're pulling off the road.
Wait a minute, I'm just hearing, Steve. They're taking the times at the top of the Col de l'Iseron. Well, that's going to be a bit tough on the yellow jersey because he was 2 minutes 7 seconds behind on top of the mountain. And he's ridden his heart out to close that gap. And they've taken the decision to stop the race and take the time at the top of the Col de l'Iseron.
Not quite the manner in which he would have hoped to have collected the yellow jersey, but that was out of his control, and he was on target regardless, because it was Egan Bernal who was making the race, and he is very much a deserving wearer of the maillot jaune. Colombia will be erupting, Robbie.
Looks like Geraint
And
Thomas.
the salute. The congratulations to the yellow jersey, the youngest rider from Colombia in this tour. Tomorrow will win the Tour de France. And congratulated by his teammate Geraint Thomas, who won this race last year. So there we have it. The race will gradually... Oh, the champagne is coming out, and it's coming out from the Team Ineos team car. That amazing man on the right in the car, Sir Dave Brailsford, having been a member of the team that has won the Tour de France, basically for the UK, it's a British team, since 2012. Very, very clever young man, this. He got top marked at a very, very private university back home in Colombia before he became a cyclist. He speaks very good English. Whoa, that's going to repeat in his stomach, isn't it? For the rest of the day.
I don't know that I've seen that before. Most of the time,
Most of them flash.
just a sip, you just gulp the whole thing down. Wow.
22 years old. The first Colombian in history to win the Tour de France. The country will be in raptures.
Colombians at the front celebrating in the white, that is Sergio Bernal. It's then Nairo Quintana, the yellow jersey of Egan Bernal, and then the guy that has led that generation, Rigoberto Urán. 3 of those riders have been on the podium. The man in pink, second 2 years ago. The man in blue, second 6 years ago. Colombian power at the front. What a joyous day for these 4 riders. Now we have Egan Bernal. Colombia have won all 3 Grand Tours with this generation. What is
Rigoberto Urán is, hey, can we have an official photographer with a proper camera?
Yeah.
So we don't have to get the iPhone and take a selfie?
This is a great image.
It's a really nice celebration of Colombian cycling.
The young Colombian is about to step out and collect the white jersey as the best young rider, and there's Dad. And what an honour it is for Viviane Morales, the Colombian ambassador in France. He'll be making the presentation of the white jersey. She, I should say. Viviane Morales. Huge moment for Colombia. Good time for Viviane Morales to be the Colombian ambassador here in France to make the presentation to Egan Bernal. His whole family off to the side. The 3rd youngest winner ever of the Tour. The youngest man to have the yellow jersey in Paris since it was introduced in 1919. That speaks volumes of the accomplishment. He's collecting white for now, a category that he's eligible for 3 more years. It is the greatest symbol in cycling, the yellow jersey. And it's all smiles for Egan Bernal. Colombian pride, they're everywhere in Paris. They'll be cheering loudest back at home in Colombia as he steps out onto the podium to collect the maillot jaune and become the first man from his country to conquer the sport's greatest challenge. Egan Bernal goes out the winner of the 106th edition of the Tour de France.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the first Colombian to win the 106th edition of the Tour de France, Egan Bernal.
Egan Bernal, félicité par Anne Hidalgo, maire de Paris, Michel Mathieu, le directeur général de la LCL, et bien voilà, le petit lion, le bouquet de fleurs qui récompense chaque soir sur le podium protocolaire. À plus forte raison sur la demi-finale.
The moment when he went across the finish line and he was greeted by his brother and his mother and his father and his girlfriend, it was one of the moments of this year's tour. And this year's tour has had a lot of moments to try and surpass.